You never thought it would come. The war had been raging for years now, across oceans, on dusty roads in Europe, through jungles far from home. You'd seen the headlines. You'd heard the names. Poland, Pearl Harbor, Stalingrad. But it all felt distant. Until today. The letter sits quietly on your kitchen table. The envelope is light, but the weight of it is real. You hold it in your hands a little longer than you should, your fingers hesitating at the crease. You already know what it says. Greetings. It begins so formally, so coldly. You've been drafted. You're going to war. Your mother's face doesn't move at first when you tell her. She's washing dishes, her back to you, the sound of the water suddenly too loud. She says nothing, but the glass in her hand trembles slightly. Your father stands by the door, not surprised. He nods once, not at you, but at the news, as if he'd always known this would come. You sit quietly that night. Dinner is barely touched. The house feels too quiet, like it's already missing you. The next morning you pack. It doesn't take long. Some shirts, a photograph, a letter from someone who still writes to you in cursive. You tuck it all into a small bag and wait. The train station is full of boys just like you. Clean faces, nervous hands. Some laugh too loud. Some say nothing at all. You watch as mothers hold their sons a little too tight. Fathers give firm handshakes, pretending they're not afraid. And behind all the noise, there's that quiet question in everyone's eyes. Who will come back? The train smells like metal and oil. Seats too stiff. Windows that don't open. You sit by the aisle, looking at boots across from you. They tap slowly, a rhythm of nerves. Someone jokes about Europe. Someone else talks about girls. But you just sit there, holding your orders, feeling like you're carrying a piece of someone else's life. At the training camp, the world changes quickly. Your name becomes a number. Your clothes become a uniform. And your voice, once casual, now answers in, "Yes, sir." They shave your head. They teach you how to run, to crawl, to shoot. How to fold your blanket into sharp corners. How to follow orders without asking why. You learn that war doesn't wait for you to be ready. Some nights, you lie awake in your bunk. The room is full of breathing, of tired limbs and whispered prayers. You wonder who you'll be when this is over, or if there will be an over at all. You write letters home, carefully, not too dark, not too honest. You say you're doing fine, that the food is decent, that you're making friends. But between the lines, you hope they can read that you miss them more than you know how to say. Weeks pass. You grow stronger. You stop flinching at the sound of shouting. You move with purpose now. Your boots no longer feel new. And then one morning, it comes. Orders. You're being deployed. The sergeant reads the names. One by one, boys become soldiers. Your name is on the list. You are going. That night, you sit outside the barracks. The stars above are distant, quiet. You wonder where you'll be tomorrow, what country your feet will stand on, what kind of person you'll become in the weeks ahead. Someone walks by and asks if you're ready. You nod. But the truth is, you don't know what ready feels like anymore. The next morning you board the transport truck. Your bag feels heavier now, not because of what's inside, but because of everything it represents. You look back once. The camp is behind you. Home is far behind that. Ahead of you is war. And so you breathe in, tighten the strap on your helmet, and step forward. You leave at dawn. The sky is pale gray, and the road is cold beneath your boots. You're sitting in the back of a military truck now, packed shoulder to shoulder with other young men. Faces tired, some blank, some faking confidence. No one knows where you're going. Only that it's across the ocean. Only that it's real this time. The port smells like salt and diesel. The ship is massive, gray and metal, towering above the water like some industrial beast. You've never seen anything like it. You watch the crew work without words, their hands moving quickly, their eyes sharp. They've done this before. You haven't. You climb aboard with your bag slung over one shoulder and your rifle held carefully in both hands, as if it might break. It's not heavy, but it feels important, like it knows where it's going, even if you don't. Inside, the ship is all steel and echo. The bunks are stacked 3 high. The lights buzz overhead, and the engine hums constantly, like a second heartbeat. You're assigned a space near the middle deck. It's tight, and it smells like oil and sweat. You sit on your bunk for a while, staring at the metal wall just inches from your face. This is home now, for a little while. The ship pulls away from the dock slowly. You feel it in your chest first, a low, steady rumble. Then the movement, gentle at first, like a rocking chair, then deeper, like the sea is trying to remind you who's in charge. You go above deck just before sunset. The sky is open, wide and endless. The air is sharp and clean, and the sea stretches in every direction. You look back toward land. It's already gone. Only water now. Only forward. The next few days blur together. The food is plain. The routine is simple. Wake. Eat. Drill. Write. Wait. You talk with the others. Not about fear, but about girls. About baseball. About what you'll eat when you get home. Nobody says if. Only when. It feels safer that way. Some nights you lie awake and listen to the water pushing against the hull. It sounds like breathing, like something ancient and alive is carrying you forward. You wonder where it will leave you. There's a boy named Carter who bunks beside you. He talks a lot, about his dog, his sister, how he wants to own a garage someday. He's never left his hometown before. Never seen the ocean. Now he stares at it every day, like he's trying to memorize it. One afternoon, there's a storm. The ship tilts sharply. You stumble in the hallway. Someone throws up near the stairs. Rain slams the deck above like fists. You feel for the first time how small this vessel really is. How small you are. When it passes, you breathe differently. Slower. More aware. The ocean is still here. So are you. For now. A week later, they gather everyone below deck. A lieutenant stands near the center of the room, clipboard in hand. He reads from it like it's just another list. But his eyes move differently, like he knows what it means. We're nearing the coast, France. That's all he says. But it's enough. France. The name feels heavy. You've never been, but the word is soaked with meaning. A battlefield. A memory. A waiting place. The men go quiet. Some stare down. Others stare ahead. And someone, just one voice in the dark, says quietly, "So this is it." That night, you write a letter. You don't write what you're feeling. Not really. But you say enough to remind someone that you're still there. You fold it carefully. Put it in the small pouch sewn into your jacket. The next morning the air changes. You're told to gear up. Full pack. Helmet on. Rifle loaded. This isn't a drill. You go above deck again. The sky is darker. The wind sharper. And in the distance, the faint outline of land. Not just any land. Occupied land. Enemy land. You breathe in slowly. The sea smells different here. Like ash. And salt. And something old. You look around. No one is joking anymore. You grip your rifle tighter. Check your boots. Count your ammo, even though you already know it's there. Everything feels too quiet. Then someone yells, "Brace for landing." The ship slows, the ramp lowers, and for a brief moment, you freeze. Not out of fear, but because you realize something. After this moment, your life will never be the same again. You step forward, boots on metal, then boots on sand. Your first steps into war. You don't look back. Not this time. To be continued. The air smells like smoke and salt. You step onto the sand and everything you trained for starts to blur. It's early morning, but the sky is already thick with noise. Shouts, gunfire, the drone of aircraft circling above. The wind tastes like metal. You run. Not because someone tells you to. Not because you know where. But because standing still feels like death. The beach stretches wide in both directions, and every few feet, another soldier drops to the ground. Some for cover, some forever. You find a patch of sand near a rusted piece of tank trap and dive behind it. Your heart pounds so loudly you can't hear the explosions anymore. Your helmet feels too loose. Your pack too heavy. Your rifle suddenly alien in your hands. You breathe. You remember that much. Just breathe. Carter is beside you. Somehow. He's pale, but alive. His mouth moves, but you can't hear him. So you nod. It's easier that way. All around you, the beach moves in fragments. Men crawling, stumbling, falling. Orders shouted, some never heard. You're not sure how long you stay behind that trap. Minutes, hours. Time doesn't work here. Eventually you hear the whistle, short and sharp. Move. You stand. Run low. Move fast. Eyes forward. Don't look at the fallen. You reach a sand dune and roll behind it. Bullets bite into the ground just feet away. The earth jumps. So do you. Beside the dune, there's a crater. You slide into it and find 3 others already there. They don't speak. They just nod. That's enough. There's a man holding a rosary, one clutching a photo, another shaking, staring at nothing. You sit between them and try to feel like you belong. Someone above shouts, "Move up!" But no one does. Not yet. You all just breathe. Together. After what feels like forever, the shelling slows. The sound softens. Not silence, just less. Enough for you to think again. Your sergeant appears over the ridge, helmet smeared with sand, voice rough. "We're pushing forward." No one argues. You stand. Again. The terrain shifts from sand to mud. Every step pulls at your boots. The pack digs into your shoulders. Your rifle feels heavier than before, like it knows something you don't. The smell changes too. Less salt, more smoke, and something else. Burned fabric, wet metal, fear. You move toward the tree line, away from the open beach. The gunfire now feels farther behind, but you know it's not over. It never is. The forest ahead is dark, even in daylight. Branches twist like arms. Roots threaten to trip you. The air here is still. Too still. You follow the man in front of you. You don't know his name. He doesn't know yours. But right now, he's the only thing tethering you to the world. You pass wreckage, twisted crates, blown out helmets, forgotten bags. You see a boot, half buried in the mud. It still has a foot in it. You don't stop. At a clearing, you pause. Everyone drops low, forming a semicircle. Your sergeant signals, "Hold here." You sit in the grass, back against a tree. Your legs ache. Your fingers are numb. But you're alive. Carter slides down beside you, gasping. You give him your canteen without a word. He takes it, drinks, and hands it back. You nod. It's not a conversation, but it means something. Few minutes pass. Someone lights a cigarette. Another unwraps a chocolate bar from his rations. The forest, for a moment, feels like a place from before all this. Like somewhere you might have hiked with friends. Like somewhere you could be safe. But you know better. Get some rest, the sergeant says. We move again at dusk. You lean back, let your helmet tilt over your eyes, and for the first time since landing, you let yourself close them. You don't sleep. Not really. But your body remembers what it means to rest. Your mind drifts. You think about home, your mother's cooking, the old couch in the living room, the sound of crickets through the window at night. You don't cry. You're too tired for that now. Someone nearby hums a tune. It's familiar, but you can't name it. It floats above the trees, soft and strange. For a moment, it feels like everything might be okay. Then, a crack. A single shot. Close. Too close. Everyone moves at once. Back to position. Rifles up. Eyes scanning. You can't see anything. Just trees. Shadows. But you know now. The forest isn't empty. And neither is the war. To be continued. The shot hangs in the air longer than it should. It echoes once, then dies. But the silence it leaves behind is louder than anything you've heard so far. You don't know where it came from, neither does anyone else. But you know what it means. You are not alone. Carter's eyes meet yours. His hands grip the rifle a little tighter. You nod at him, not because it helps, but because you don't know what else to do. The sergeant crouches low, motions with 2 fingers. Move, spread wide, watch the tree line. You rise slowly, knees stiff from crouching, muscles tense from everything else. You move in small steps, careful, deliberate. Every twig is a gunshot in your ears. Every leaf rustle feels like a warning. You scan the trees, left, right, up. The enemy could be anywhere, or nowhere. But your body no longer trusts calm. Then, another crack, closer. This time someone falls. Not far, but not next to you. You don't look. You can't. If you stop to see who it was, your feet might never move again. Your squad fans out into the woods. The trees grow tighter, the air thicker. Sunlight filters through in broken strands. You follow them like they might lead you somewhere safe. But all they do is show your position. You duck beneath a fallen log and wait. Sniper, someone whispers behind you. Up in the ridge. You nod. You still haven't seen him. Only his work. Minutes pass, then more. You stay low, breathe slow. You feel your heartbeat in your fingertips. Someone makes a decision. A flare. It shoots up red and vanishes into the sky. Then everything happens at once. Gunfire. Lots of it. Not one shot at a time. A chorus of rifles. Then machine gun bursts. You press into the earth. Try to make yourself smaller. Try to vanish into the roots. You can hear shouting. Some in English, some not. And somewhere in the chaos, Carter is calling your name. You crawl toward him, stomach low to the ground, hands pulling you forward inch by inch. You don't know where the shots are coming from now. They're everywhere. Above, ahead, too close. You reach Carter. He's behind a tree, firing in bursts. You slide beside him, gasping. He looks at you like he's not sure you're real. Good timing, he says, his voice shaking. You try to smile. It doesn't work. Then he says it. We're pinned. You nod, already knowing. You both glance behind, but retreat isn't an option. You're too deep in now. The sergeant appears again, crawling low. Flank left, grenade if you've got one. Carter does. He pulls the pin, waits for the count, then throws. It lands somewhere in the brush, and the explosion is both sharp and strangely dull at the same time. Then silence. Again. That awful silence. You wait. Still breathing. Still alive. Then, a signal. The sergeant waves you forward. You move, quickly but low, across the forest floor. You pass a fallen soldier. His eyes are open. His helmet is missing. You don't know him, but he was wearing your uniform. Eventually, the trees open slightly. You and Carter reach the edge of a ridge. Below, you see movement. Your squad forming a line, reorganizing. You slide down, boots slipping on roots and soil. At the bottom, you're met with nods. Brief, tired, but real. The sergeant claps Carter on the shoulder. Good throw. Then he looks at you. Stay sharp. This forest isn't done with us. You sit against a tree. You feel every ache now, every bruise, the sting in your side from falling, the sweat in your eyes. You look down at your hands. They're dirty, shaking, real. You're still here. Someone passes a canteen. You drink, cough, drink again. Then Carter says quietly, "That was our first real fight." You nod, and maybe, deep inside, you hope it was your last. But you know better. The forest is darker now. Not from time, just mood. The trees feel closer. The shadows heavier. Someone suggests camp for the night. No one argues. You build no fires. Just dig into the earth, under thick branches, and try to become invisible. You eat cold rations in silence. Carter hums a few notes from a song you don't recognize. And for the first time in hours, you hear birds again. When you lie down, your body protests. It wants comfort, warmth, a pillow. It gets none of those, but it gets rest, and that's enough. You stare at the canopy above. The stars peek through in thin cracks, and for one brief moment, you feel something strange. Not safety, not peace, but stillness. A moment that belongs to you, even in the middle of war. You close your eyes. The dirt is cold. The rifle rests across your chest. And Carter is breathing quietly beside you. You made it through the day. And in war, sometimes that's the only victory that matters. To be continued. You don't fall asleep. Not really. Your eyes close, your breathing slows, but sleep doesn't come. Not the way it used to. Instead, you drift, somewhere between memory and fear. The earth beneath you is cold and damp. Your back aches from the roots, your neck from the helmet, and yet you don't move. Even small movements feel dangerous now. You lie still, your rifle across your chest, your finger never far from the trigger. Carter shifts beside you. Not much, just enough to let you know he's awake too. "Can't sleep?" he whispers. You shake your head. He doesn't say anything else. Neither do you. There's not much to say anymore. Somewhere deeper in the woods, an owl calls. A low, soft sound. You didn't know owls existed out here, but it reminds you. The world is still turning. Even here. Even now. You close your eyes again. Try to go home. In your mind. You picture your street, your porch, the creak of the front step. You picture your mother's voice, your father's laugh, the warmth of a chair by the fire. But even your memories feel tired now. Time stretches strangely in the dark. You check your watch. Minutes pass like hours. Then hours vanish without a sound. You can't tell if it's midnight or morning. Only that the cold keeps getting deeper. At one point you hear something. Not loud. Just movement. Leaves shifting. A branch snapping. You sit up slightly. Hold your breath. The sergeant appears out of the shadows, hand raised. Not a threat. Just checking. He kneels beside you. Get some rest, he says quietly. You nod. He moves on. Carter whispers, "Why do they always say that like it's easy?" You almost laugh, but instead, you just exhale slowly. You lie back down. Your body is tired enough to collapse, but your mind won't let go. It keeps counting footsteps that aren't there. It keeps checking shadows for eyes. It keeps remembering the man who fell earlier, the one with his eyes still open. Eventually you do sleep, but it's not restful. Your dreams are foggy. Flashes of gunfire. Running. A girl's voice. The smell of smoke. You wake up more exhausted than before. When dawn comes, it's not the sun that wakes you. It's the sound of boots. Quiet. Disciplined. The others are already up. Packing. Moving. You join them, rubbing the sleep from your eyes. Your fingers are stiff. Your back sore. But you're breathing. And that's something. Breakfast is dry and tasteless. But it's warm. And in war, warmth is rare. You eat without speaking. So does Carter. The whole squad moves like a machine now. Not because they want to, but because they've learned to. The sergeant calls for a march. No trucks, no maps, just direction, northeast. You shoulder your pack, check your rifle, fall into line. The morning mist clings to the trees. Soft, heavy. You walk through it like a ghost. No one says much. No one needs to. Every footstep on the forest floor is a reminder. You made it through one night. You just need to make it through one more. Somewhere to your left, a bird flutters out of a bush. You flinch. Carter does too. You exchange a glance. And this time, you both laugh. Just a little. Not because it's funny, but because you need to remember how. Around mid-morning, the squad halts. A small road appears through the trees. Broken pavement, old signs, tire tracks, civilization, or what's left of it. The sergeant raises a hand. We scout ahead, he says. No noise, no assumptions. You and 3 others are chosen, Carter included. You step off the road, rifle at the ready, eyes scanning every branch, every doorway, every piece of silence. The buildings are skeletal, roofs missing, doors hanging by rusted hinges. A town, once, now, just bones. You search room by room. No enemies, no signs of life, just furniture covered in dust. A child's toy on the floor, a cracked mirror. You stare into it for a moment. You almost don't recognize the face looking back. Then, a noise, a footstep. Behind you. You spin, rifle raised. It's Carter. Clear, he says. But his eyes are wide. You nod. You both step outside. The others return with similar reports. No enemies, but no comfort either. The town is quiet in a way that feels wrong, like it's holding its breath. The squad regroups at a small square. They sit, drink water, adjust their gear. The sergeant marks something on a paper map, frowns, then he looks up. We move again at noon. You find a low wall to lean against. The stone is warm in the sunlight. You sit. Carter does too. For a moment it almost feels like rest. Almost. You hear the wind in the trees. You hear your own heartbeat. And you realize something. This night, the one you just survived, won't be the last. But you survived it. And that means something. You close your eyes just for a second. Not to sleep. Just to remember that you still can. To be continued. The sun climbs higher. The squad begins to move. The ruined village falls behind you, its broken windows watching silently. You march northeast, same as always, same as ordered. Your boots press into soft gravel. Carter walks beside you, silent. The others stretch out ahead and behind, quiet shadows on a broken road. Every now and then you pass signs of something, but not someone. A jacket caught in a fence, a boot beside an overturned cart, bullet holes in barn doors, but no voices, no movement, no life. The war has passed through here and left everything in pause. Around midday, the road splits. A fork. To the right, a wooded path, uphill. To the left, a crumbling bridge over a narrow stream. The sergeant surveys both, frowning. Checks his map. The lines on it are thin, fading, like they're tired of being followed. "Bridge," he says, quicker, but eyes sharp. The squad moves cautiously. The bridge is made of stone, old and cracked. Water rushes underneath, cold and fast. You cross single file. You're in the middle when it happens. A sound, not loud, but wrong. A click. You freeze. You look down. There, beneath your left boot, barely visible in the moss, a small metal disc. Pressure plate. No one speaks, but they know. Carter sees it first. His face changes instantly, like someone switched him off inside. You don't move. You barely breathe. The sergeant approaches slowly, kneels nearby, eyes on the ground. "Mines," he says, more to himself than to anyone else. "We missed the signs." He curses under his breath, then looks at you. "Don't move." You nod, very slightly. Your heart is beating so fast it feels like it's trying to leave your chest. The others back away, one by one. Only Carter stays close. His eyes never leave yours. The sergeant pulls out a small radio, calls in a message. Code, clipped, precise. Then silence again. "I've sent for EOD," he says. "Demolition guys. They're nearby." You nod again. You can't feel your legs anymore. They're there, but distant, like they belong to someone else. Time stretches. No one talks. The squad sets up a loose perimeter. Carter stays 5 feet away, kneeling, waiting. "Hey," he says finally. You glance over. "You're doing great. Just keep breathing." You try. It doesn't work perfectly, but it's better than nothing. 10 minutes pass, then 15. Then, from the trees ahead, movement. 2 men approach, wearing heavy gear, backpacks, long, thin tools. Calm eyes, they don't rush. One of them kneels in front of you. "Name's Tyler," he says softly. "You're going to be fine. We're going to do this slowly, together." You nod. He opens a small case. Inside, a toolkit. Delicate instruments that look too gentle for war. "Step 1, he says. "We take the weight off, just slightly." He looks up at you. "I need you to trust me." You meet his eyes, and for a moment, everything else fades. You follow his instructions. Breathe. Shift just enough. His hands move beneath your boot. Steady. Precise. You feel something slide. A pressure shift. Tyler nods once. "Got it." He holds up the plate. Your boot is free. You step back. The relief hits you like a wave. Your knees go weak. Carter catches you before you fall. You sit down on the gravel, gasping. You hadn't realized you were crying. Not loud. Just a few silent tears, cutting tracks through the dust on your face. Tyler packs his tools. The sergeant nods at him. You saved him. Tyler shrugs. It's just another Tuesday. And then he's gone. You sit there for a while, Carter beside you, neither of you speaking. You almost died, but you didn't. Later, when the march resumes, your legs still shake slightly, but you walk anyway. The rest of the day is quieter. Even the birds seem to keep their distance. No one talks much. No jokes. No songs. The squad just moves. One foot, then the next. That night at camp, you find a flat patch beneath a pine tree. You lie down slowly. Your hands still feel ghostly. Carter sits beside you. After a while, he speaks. Back home, he says, I was supposed to be a mechanic. You turn to look at him. He smiles faintly. Figured it'd be simpler than this. You chuckle. It's dry, but real. I was going to be a teacher, you say. Carter nods. What kind? You think for a second, then say, history. He laughs at that. It's the loudest sound in camp all night. You lie back. Look at the stars. No mines. No bridges. Just sky. And for the first time since this started, you let yourself feel something other than fear. You feel lucky. And for now, that's enough. To be continued. The next day begins with fog. Thick, low. It rolls through the trees like it's searching for something. Or someone. You wake early. Not because anyone wakes you, but because your body doesn't trust sleep anymore. You sit up slowly, stretch your shoulders. Carter is already up, tying his boots. He looks over and nods. Still here. The squad packs quietly. No one talks much in the mornings now. It's become a kind of ritual. Rise, fold, shoulder, march. You don't even need orders. Your body knows what to do. You move down the hill, boots sinking into wet moss and fallen leaves. The road ahead is narrow, cracked, half swallowed by forest. Your sergeant stops at a signpost, bent, rusted. It used to say the name of a town. Now it just points towards silence. He gestures. Small village ahead. Stay alert. You approach in a staggered line, each man watching a different angle. The houses are stone, some roofless, some leaning like tired men. Still they stand, barely. You cross the threshold of the first building, a schoolhouse maybe. Desks overturned, chalkboard cracked. A child's drawing on the wall, still hanging, though faded by time and rain. A stick figure, smiling, holding a balloon. Your throat tightens. Carter taps your shoulder. Over here. You follow him into the next building. What you find stops you cold. 2 children, maybe 7, maybe 10, huddled beneath a broken table, blankets pulled over their heads like armor, eyes wide, silent. They don't move. They don't cry. They just stare. You freeze. Carter does too. One of the kids is clutching something. Tin soldier, paint chipped, arm missing. You lower your rifle slowly. Very slowly. You kneel. Hey, you say gently. I'm not here to hurt you. No response. Just breath. Quick and shallow. Carter takes off his helmet, sets it gently on the floor. He crouches beside you. Parlez-vous français? He tries. Still nothing. Just those eyes. Wide, sunken, ancient somehow. You don't know what to do. You weren't trained for this. You pull a ration bar from your pocket, unwrap it carefully, hold it out. It smells like chocolate and dust. The boy looks at it, then at you. Then, slowly, reaches out, takes it. The girl shifts beside him. Not much, just closer to her brother. Carter finds a canteen, hands it over. She drinks. Fast. Like she hasn't had water in days. Maybe longer. The sergeant enters, sees the children, stops. He doesn't say anything, just looks, then nods once. "Search the rest of the village," he says to someone behind him. "We'll figure this out." You sit on the floor beside the children. They don't speak, but they don't run either. That feels like a win. Eventually, the medic arrives. She kneels, opens her bag slowly. Her voice is soft, melodic. Words you don't understand, but tone you do. The kids follow her out, wrapped in blankets, hands full of crackers and canteens. Carter watches them go. "They're just kids," he says. You nod. "I thought I left that part of the world behind." The squad regroups. You're told to stay a few more hours, make sure the area is secure. No resistance found, no mines, just time, just space. You sit beneath a crumbled archway, eating cold beans from a can. They taste better than yesterday. Maybe it's the quiet, maybe it's the kids. Later, a convoy arrives. A jeep, a truck. 2 Red Cross workers, clean uniforms and calm faces. They take the children with them. One waves at you from the back of the truck. It's the boy, the one with the tin soldier. He holds it up like a flag. You smile, and for a moment, it feels like something inside you unclenches, just a little. That night, the fire is small but allowed, just for warmth, just for comfort. You sit with Carter and 2 others. No one speaks at first. Then Carter says, "I didn't think we'd see anyone like that out here." You nod. "Neither did I." A pause. Then someone adds, "I thought all the good parts of the world had already left." No one argues, but no one agrees either. The fire crackles, and above you, the stars blink softly through the smoke. You lie in your bedroll later, watching shadows flicker across the tent fabric. You think of the children, their eyes, their silence, the tin soldier. You wonder if they'll make it. You hope they do. You hope you do too. You close your eyes. The war is still out there, waiting. But so is something else. Something small, and stubborn, and alive. To be continued. The fire is out. The smoke has long since faded. The children are gone. The village, quiet. You sleep under a sky full of stars, but none of them seem close enough to matter. The air is colder tonight. Still. Too still. Carter lies next to you, already asleep. You envy him for that. The way he can close his eyes and drift, as if the ground beneath us doesn't carry echoes of war. You stare upward, count stars, name constellations you barely remember. Orion, Ursa Major, the little one with no name, the one you always imagined was home. Your shift is the second one, midnight to 2. You sit up slowly when the man before you taps your shoulder. He nods once, eyes sunken, then crawls into his bedroll, asleep in minutes. You rise, stretch, pick up your rifle and stand watch. The forest is black at this hour. No wind, no moon, no sound. Even your breathing feels too loud. You count each exhale like it might keep something away. 1, 2, 3. At first, there's nothing. Then, somewhere beyond the trees, a branch snaps. You freeze. Not loud, not sharp, just real. Too real. You raise your rifle, squint. Nothing moves, but that's worse somehow. You take one step toward the edge of the tree line, then stop. Wait. Breathe. Another sound. Different now. Fabric against bark. A whisper in a language you don't speak. You turn. Move quickly to the sergeant's tent. Tap twice. He wakes instantly, eyes clear. You whisper. Movement. Southeast. Low. Close. He's up in seconds. The camp is stirred with quiet urgency. No yelling. No panic. Just trained hands grabbing gear. Boots slipping on. Safety off. Eyes scanning. Then, the first shot. Not from you. From them. It hits a lantern near the edge of camp. Glass shatters. Flame spills. Light blooms suddenly across the trees. Then all hell follows. Machine gun fire. Bursts from the darkness. Sparks off rocks. Bark explodes from trees. You hit the dirt. Roll behind a broken wall. Raise your rifle. Fire. Once. Twice. You don't know if you hit anything. Carter is nearby, returning fire in short, trained bursts. His jaw is tight. His face different now. Harder. Focused. You see it in yourself, too. The shift from fear to function. The sergeant's voice cuts through. Left flank. Push out. Take the tree line. You move, with 3 others, staying low, relying on shadows. Bullets cut the air overhead. Someone behind you screams. You don't look back. You reach the edge of the trees. Shapes move between trunks. You fire again. One falls. Maybe. You can't tell. Then, silence. The gunfire stops as suddenly as it began. You stay still, listening. The forest breathes again, but you don't trust it. Not yet. Eventually, the sergeant calls. Cease fire! Hold positions! You lower your weapon, but your arms still tremble. You return to camp slowly, eyes searching for Carter. You find him. He's crouched beside a wounded man, pressing gauze into a shoulder. Blood soaks through. You kneel beside him. Help hold the cloth. The man's eyes flutter. You whisper something you don't remember. Just noise. Just presence. The medic arrives. Takes over. You and Carter fall back, sitting against the cold stone of the well. Neither of you speak for a long time. Finally, Carter says, "They came fast." You nod. He adds, "We were lucky." You don't respond, because you know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was you. You heard it. You moved. You warned them. Tonight. You saved lives. And maybe, just maybe, you saved your own. Later, as the fire is relit, low, contained, you watch the flames flicker against the tree trunks. Someone hands you a piece of bread. You chew without tasting. Your fingers smell like gunpowder. Your ears ring in the quiet. You write a letter before sunrise. It's short. You don't mention the fight. You don't mention the blood. Just a few lines. We're okay. Still holding on. I miss the sky back home. You fold it carefully. Slide it next to the others in your jacket. A little stack of thoughts you're keeping safe, just in case. As light begins to return to the sky, you realize something. This isn't just about surviving anymore. It's about who you become while surviving. And that might be the hardest part of all. To be continued. The sun is rising. But it doesn't bring warmth. Just light. Just clarity. You see everything now. Everything that was hidden in the dark. The broken crates. The torn packs. The dried blood in the dirt. The silence left behind by men who will never speak again. No one gives orders at first. There's no need. Everyone knows what comes next. You begin to walk the perimeter. Slow. Heavy. Carter walks beside you, saying nothing. Just watching. Just being there. Sometimes, that's all that matters. You find them one by one. Your own. Theirs. Some you recognize. Some you don't. Some don't look like anything at all. You stop in front of one. A boy, maybe younger than you. He's lying face down. Helmet still on. No rifle in sight. You kneel. Turn him gently. There's a photograph pinned inside his coat. A girl. Smiling. You fold it back. Leave it there. You don't take anything. You don't say anything. You just look. By mid-morning, you've helped move 4 bodies. Then 5. Then 7. The ground is softer than it looks, but digging takes time and care. You work in pairs, hands blistered, shovels scraping rock. No one complains, no one rests. The forest is still watching. The first grave is shallow, but it's deep enough to say, you mattered. You wrap the body in a tarp, lower it slowly. Carter stands at the edge, hat off. You do the same. The sergeant steps forward, clears his throat. He was one of ours, he says. That's all that needs saying. And maybe that's true, because no speech can undo this. You mark the site with a helmet and a cross made from branches. Nothing fancy. Just memory. Just respect. You move on to the next. By noon, the squad has buried 11. The last one is different. He's not one of yours. He wore a different uniform, spoke a different language. But he died in the same dirt, under the same stars. The sergeant hesitates, then nods. We bury him too. And you do, because war may draw lines, but death doesn't care about borders. Later you sit by a tree, arm sore, throat dry, stomach empty. You don't feel hunger. You feel weight, like something inside you is heavier now. Not grief, not yet. Just the knowledge that things are different now, that there's no going back to who you were. Carter hands you a canteen. You drink. Water tastes strange after a day like this. He says quietly, "My brother was buried in a place like this, before I got here." You look over. He doesn't look back. I used to wonder if someone was there, if someone gave him a cross, or just left him. A pause. Now I know someone probably did. You nod, then say, "Maybe someone like you." He smiles, just a little. That's enough. That evening, rain falls. Soft, almost apologetic. You sit under the tarp with 2 others, listening to it tap against canvas. The rhythm is comforting, like a lullaby in a language the world forgot. You don't write a letter that night. There are no words for this. So you hold the last letter you wrote, read it again, and tuck it back into your jacket. Still sealed. Still true. The next morning you move again. New orders. New map. Same road. But something follows you now. Not just memory. Not just fatigue. Responsibility. The kind that doesn't fade with sleep, or time, or distance. The kind you carry in your boots, your hands, your eyes. You and Carter walk near the middle of the column. No one talks. But the silence isn't heavy this time. It's respectful. Settled. Like the forest understands. Like the war, for just a moment, has agreed to let you breathe. As the squad rounds a bend, the sun breaks through the trees. Warm. Not enough to change anything, but enough to remind you you're still here. Still walking. Still becoming someone you never imagined. And somewhere, beneath a blanket of earth, a boy rests under a cross made of branches. He didn't get a medal. He didn't make it home. But he didn't disappear either. Because you remembered him. And maybe that's the best anyone can ask for in a place like this. To be continued. You're walking again. Same boots. Same rifle. Same trees lining both sides of the road like quiet witnesses. But the weight feels different now. Not just from your pack, but from everything you've buried. Everything you've seen. The squad moves in a staggered line. Eyes forward, hands on weapons. You pass a farmhouse. Its windows are broken. The door hangs sideways. A dog barks once from inside, then falls silent. You don't stop. Today's mission is simple. At least that's what the sergeant says. Deliver supplies to Outpost 17. Secure the route. No contact expected. You've learned to stop believing in no contact. Still, you nod. Because that's what you do now. You follow. You move. You survive. Around midday, the road narrows. You cross a shallow stream. Step over shattered crates. Rusted cans. Signs of someone who came before. Signs of someone who didn't stay long. You're near the halfway point when Carter stops. Raises a hand. You freeze behind him. There's movement ahead. Not soldiers. Not armed. Civilians. 2 women. 3 children. All thin. All tired. Their clothes are torn. Their shoes worn down to nothing. One of the children carries a pot. Empty. They aren't running. But they aren't waving either. Just standing there. Watching. Waiting. The sergeant steps forward. French, he mutters. Could be from the town that was hit last week. He looks back at the squad, then at the truck behind you. The one full of supplies. Food, water, blankets, bandages. He sighs. We don't have time for this. You say nothing, but your feet don't move. Neither do Carter's. The oldest woman speaks. Her voice is soft, apologetic. She doesn't ask for help. She just explains. The town is gone. They've been walking for 2 days. There's no food left, no place to sleep, no one else. She motions to the smallest child, a girl, maybe 5, then points at her mouth. You understand without translation. The sergeant turns to you. We're under orders, he says. Deliver everything to 17. Nothing extra, nothing missing. You nod, but you're still not moving. Then Carter speaks. I have a can in my pack, not from the shipment, my own. He takes it out, walks over, kneels, gives it to the woman. She hesitates, then takes it, whispers something you don't understand. The sergeant exhales through his nose. You all want to be saints now? He mutters. But he doesn't stop Carter, or you, or the others, one by one, who quietly pull cans from their personal gear. Not much, but enough. The children eat first. Quick, careful bites, like they're afraid it might vanish. You sit on a rock nearby. Watch them. The youngest girl offers you a piece, a sliver of cracker, cracked in half. You take it, Thank her softly. Then tuck it into your pocket. You can't eat it. Not now. Not ever. The woman speaks again. She points toward the forest, motions with her hands. A rough map. Gestures of warning. Crossed arms, shaking head. You understand. She's telling you, don't take the main road. Not safe. The sergeant watches her carefully, then nods once. Detour, South Bend, through the orchard. The squad adjusts, shifts direction. The civilians step aside, nod their thanks. You walk past them slowly. The little girl waves, you wave back. And don't look over your shoulder, because you don't want to see them disappear. The orchard path is overgrown, but quiet, and safe. At least for now. No gunfire, no mines, just wind through branches and the distant sound of crows. You arrive at Outpost 17 by evening, intact. Supplies delivered, no losses. The commanding officer signs your form, barely glances at you. Efficient work, he says. Right on time. You nod. But that's not what you're thinking about. That night, by the fire, Carter pulls something from his pack. The little girl's cracker, still wrapped, untouched. He looks at you. I couldn't eat it. You shake your head. Neither could I. He smiles faintly. Maybe someday. You don't write a letter that night. Instead, you take out the one from before. The one you've read 3 times already. You unfold it. Reread every word. Not because you forgot, but because remembering is how you stay human. As the fire dies down, you stare at the embers and think. War tells you to follow orders, to move fast, to leave nothing behind. But sometimes, what makes you human is knowing when to stop, when to share, when to choose compassion over command. And tonight you chose right, to be continued. The sky is overcast when you leave Outpost 17. Not stormy, just uncertain. Clouds drift slowly overhead, and the light feels too pale to trust. Your squad is smaller today. 3 stayed behind. 1 wounded, 1 sick, 1 reassigned. That's how it goes now. People don't leave with goodbyes. Just names missing from the next roll call. The sergeant reads the new orders aloud. Outpost 22 has gone dark. No contact in 48 hours. Investigate. Assist if needed. Proceed with caution. He folds the paper, tucks it into his jacket, and looks up. His face is unreadable. You shoulder your pack. Carter checks his ammo. You check yours. Neither of you says a word. You don't have to. You both know. Something's wrong. The path is narrow, half covered in snowmelt and damp leaves. You move slow, deliberate. The trees grow denser, the wind colder. Even the birds seem to avoid this stretch. A mile in, you pass an overturned cart. 2 crates spilled open beside it. Ration tins, empty, neatly stacked. Someone had time to organize. Then time ran out. The silence thickens. Not peaceful, not calm. Just empty. Like the forest is holding its breath again. You reach the clearing by noon. The sign reads, Outpost 22. But most of the paint has peeled away. The fences are intact. The gate half open. You step inside, and everything is still. The buildings look untouched. No bullet holes, no fire damage. Just quiet. Too quiet. You walk slowly between tents. Your boots crunch gravel. Carter moves beside you, rifle raised. You pass the mess hall, the radio shack, the barracks, all empty. Beds unmade, plates on tables, cups with dried coffee stains. The sergeant holds up a hand. All clear. But something's off. He's right. You can feel it. Like the place was abandoned mid-step. But there's no sign of struggle. No blood. No weapons missing. No notes. No footprints leading away. You regroup by the main shack. The radio's still humming. No signal. No static. Just a low electric hum. One of the guys taps the speaker. Maybe they just left. Pulled out. The sergeant shakes his head. If they left, there'd be orders. A trail. Anything. He looks at you. Search everything. You and Carter take the eastern tents. Inside, more of the same. Half-written letters. Boots still lined up beneath cots. Someone even left a jacket on the chair. A picture poking out of the pocket. You pick it up. A woman. 2 kids. Smiling. You put it back. Outside, you find the generator shed. The door creaks open. Carter steps in first. You follow, then stop. There's someone inside, sitting on the ground, back against the wall, arms resting on his knees, eyes wide open. But he's not breathing. You kneel beside him. Check his pulse. Nothing. His dog tags say, M. Heller. He doesn't have a wound. No blood. No bruises. Just gone. Like his body gave up on something his mind never understood. Carter swallows hard. Shock? You nod. Or maybe not. You're not sure anymore. You find a notebook beside him. The last entry reads, "They started hearing things at night. Whispers from the trees. Lights we couldn't trace. Then one by one, they stopped waking up. I stayed. Maybe I shouldn't have. If you're reading this, be quiet, and don't go beyond the fence at night." You look at Carter. His jaw is tight. Neither of you says anything. You return to the squad. Report what you found. The sergeant reads the note. Twice. Then tucks it into his pocket. "We'll hold here overnight," he says. "Then we move at first light." Someone protests. He cuts them off. "If there's any chance someone's alive, we stay." And that's that. You set up camp by the central tent. No fires tonight. Just lanterns. Low. Warm. You sit with Carter, backs against a wall. You can't see the stars tonight. Only clouds. Only silence. Before you sleep, you check the notebook again. You read the last 2 words over and over. Be quiet. You lie down, but you don't rest. Your eyes stay open. Your ears searching. The forest is still, but it doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels like it's listening. And somewhere, far off, you think you hear something move. To be continued. You don't sleep. No one does. They lie down. They close their eyes. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, there's just waiting. Listening. Breathing like prey. You keep thinking about the notebook. The last line. Don't go beyond the fence at night. It echoes in your mind louder than any gunshot ever did, because it doesn't feel like a warning. It feels like a truth. Carter sits across from you, back against a rusted supply bin. He hasn't said much since sunset. Just keeps checking the perimeter with his eyes, then checking it again. Finally, he speaks. "You believe that guy?" You nod slowly. "Yeah, I do." He breathes out. "Me too." The outpost feels wrong tonight, like something is coiled in the air, waiting to move. There's no sound, no crickets, no wind, just waiting. You're on second watch, midnight again. The sergeant hands you the flashlight, nods, then disappears into the dark tent flap. You sit on a wooden crate, rifle across your knees, eyes trained on the tree line just past the fence. The moon is hiding tonight, clouds dragging across it like torn cloth. 30 minutes pass. Nothing. You let your eyes unfocus, just enough to catch movement without blinking. You listen for patterns, rhythms, still nothing. Until a flash. Quick, distant, soft. Not gunfire, not lightning, just a flicker of light from beyond the fence. You blink, stand slowly, raise the flashlight, but don't turn it on. Instead, you wait. Then it happens again. A pale glow, like a lantern, but moving. Too smooth, too quiet. You whisper, "Carter." He's awake, already next to you, like he was waiting. You point. He sees it too. "Could be someone," he says. You nod, then shake your head. "Could be something else." You both wait. Another flicker, then silence, then footsteps. Not many, just one, soft. You raise your rifle, hold your breath. The footstep stops, then a voice from the trees. Male, young, speaking French, quiet, broken. "Help, please." You freeze. Look at Carter. He whispers, "This is how they pull you out." The voice again, closer. "I'm hurt." No groaning, no fear in the tone, just flat. Too flat. Your skin crawls. You step back from the fence. Carter follows. Neither of you speaks. Neither of you fires. You just don't move. The voice fades. The footsteps stop, and nothing follows. An hour passes, then another. The clouds begin to shift. The moon peeks through, casting silver on the damp ground. You scan the trees again. This time, you see nothing, but you feel watched. When your watch ends, you return to your bedroll, but you don't lie down. Instead, you sit beside it, rifle across your lap, fingers resting near the trigger. Carter mirrors you. Neither of you says a word. But in that silence, there's an agreement. No one's going past that fence. At dawn, the squad gathers. Faces pale, eyes red. The sergeant looks at each of you. "What happened last night?" You all stay quiet. He narrows his eyes, then asks, "Who heard it?" Everyone raises a hand, even the new guy. Jackson, barely 19, still smells like home. The sergeant pulls out the notebook, flips to the last page, then tears it out, folds it, puts it in his shirt pocket. "This place is done," he says. "Pack your gear." You don't argue. No one does. Because you all know, whatever this was, it didn't want to be understood. It wanted to be left behind. As you leave the outpost, you don't look back. You don't mark it on the map. You don't speak its name. You just walk. One step, then another, and the forest lets you go. By midday, the sun breaks through. Birds return. The road becomes a road again. Not a grave. Not a question. You stop for water. Carter sits beside you. After a while, he says, "Whatever that was, I'm not sure it was even about war." You nod slowly. Not everything out here is. You both sit quietly for a while. Then you reach into your pocket and remove the sliver of cracker the girl gave you. Still whole, still wrapped. You hand it to Carter. He breaks it in half. You eat it together, in silence. A quiet offering to whatever watches, and whatever let you pass. To be continued. You've walked for hours, The trees have thinned, the hills have steepened, and the silence has returned, but not the kind that makes you feel watched. This silence is heavier, the kind that makes you feel late. You were briefed just after breakfast. A patrol unit, 6 men, had gone northeast 2 days ago. They didn't check in, no signal, no word, no sign of trouble, just missing. Your squad was the closest, so now you're here, searching. The sergeant leads. Carter walks beside you. You carry extra supplies. First aid, flares, a spare radio. There's something different in the way you all move today. Not fear, not exhaustion, just care. The kind you use when looking for people you might not find. The trail starts cold, but you find signs. A boot print in the mud, fresh. A cigarette butt near a stone, still dry. Someone came through here, recently. You pick up the pace, not rushing, just moving with intent. It feels good to have a purpose again, even one like this. Around noon you find the first real sign. A helmet, half buried in moss, dented, but not bloody. Carter crouches beside it. You think it's one of ours? You nod. The emblem's still visible. You keep moving. A slope leads you to a valley. Quiet, sun-dappled. Too beautiful for what it might hold. Then you hear it. Not voices, not gunfire. Something smaller. A whistle. Barely a sound. But steady. Rhythmic. Like someone trying not to be forgotten. You move toward it. Slow. Weapons ready. Eyes alert. Over a small ridge, you find them. 3 men. 2 sitting. 1 lying flat. All wearing your uniform. Carter shouts first. They don't raise rifles. They just wave. Weakly. Relieved. You rush in. The sergeant kneels beside the man on the ground. Name? He asks. The soldier barely whispers. Lennox. One of the others says, he took shrapnel 2 nights ago. Infection's bad. You open the medical kit. Carter finds clean water. Someone preps a stretcher. You work without speaking. This is what you trained for. This is why you're still here. The others, Davin and Ortiz, look exhausted. They haven't slept. They haven't eaten much. But they stayed. They didn't leave Lennox behind. That means something. That means everything. Once Lennox is stabilized, the march begins. Slow, measured. You and Carter carry the stretcher first, then switch with the others. No one complains. The path back feels longer, heavier, but you don't feel burdened. You feel right. Like you're doing the only thing worth doing out here. The sky grows darker, storm clouds gathering. But you press on. Carter hums quietly, something wordless, a rhythm to walk by. The weight of the stretcher presses into your shoulder, but you don't adjust. It's supposed to hurt. Some burdens are meant to be carried. An hour from camp, the rain begins. Thin, chilly, but it feels clean somehow. You raise your collar. Lennox coughs softly. Still with you. Still fighting. When you reach the camp, medics rush forward. Take over. You step back. Let them work. And for the first time all day, you sit. Not because you have to, but because the mission is done. And the men you came for, they're not ghosts after all. Later, Carter sits beside you. 3 out of 6, he says quietly. You nod. Not bad, not great, but not nothing. Think the others are still out there? He asks. You look up at the clouds. I hope not. He gets it. Sometimes hope means wanting someone to be alive, and sometimes it means wanting them to have died quickly. Not alone, not afraid. Before sleep, you walk past the med tent. Lennox is resting. IV in his arm, pale but breathing. Davin and Ortiz are nearby, wrapped in blankets, barely staying awake. They see you. Nod once. Grateful. You nod back. Because words don't work for this. Not tonight. You lie down in your tent. Let the sound of rain on canvas lull you. For the first time in days, you feel like you brought something back. Something good. Not victory, not revenge, just people. And that's enough. To be continued. The next day begins with unfamiliar voices. Not loud, not threatening. Just different. You unzip your tent and step outside. New uniforms. New faces. A French unit. 5 men. Dirty boots. Sharp eyes. Exhausted, just like you. But still standing. Carter steps up beside you. Huh, he mutters. Didn't think we'd see other uniforms this far out. You nod. The French soldiers talk among themselves. One of them laughs. It's a tired sound, but real. You didn't know how much you missed the sound of someone laughing, even if you don't know what it means. The sergeant approaches. Behind him, a translator, barely older than you, cleaner uniform, carrying a small notebook and a nervous expression. This is Leon, the sergeant says. He's with them. He'll help us talk. Leon nods. Awkward smile. You smile back. It's enough to start with. The briefing is quick. Joint operation, short-range recon. 2 teams. 1 mission. Locate a potential Axis supply route rumored to be nearby. The catch? It's buried somewhere in the hills. And it's not on any of your maps. You're paired with 2 French soldiers, Martin and Jules. Martin is tall, broad-shouldered, quiet. Jules is younger, talkative. Even though you don't understand half of what he says, you can tell he means well. Carter ends up with Leon and another man, Etienne. They speak in broken English, mostly gestures. But they get by. You start walking. The terrain is steep, the air cold, but the silence is softer today. Maybe it's the new voices. Maybe it's the way Jules hums every few minutes. Maybe it's just not war right now, just men from different places, following the same trail. You share food at noon. Carter offers jerky. Leon offers hard cheese. Jules passes around something that tastes like almonds and dust, but it's sweet, and it makes people smile. You trade quietly. Half of this, a bite of that. No need for words. In the afternoon, you reach the ridge. You pause. Below, a narrow road cuts through the trees. Not on your map, well hidden, just like the intel said. And on it, 2 trucks, unmarked, moving slow. Carter raises his binoculars. Could be supplies. Martin signals. Wait, you do. The trucks vanish around a bend. You mark the spot. Time to report. Back at temporary camp, everyone debriefs in hushed tones. The translator moves between groups. His notebook fills with scribbles and arrows. You find yourself sitting beside Jules, passing a canteen back and forth. He pulls out a photograph, points at it. A woman, 2 children. A home somewhere far from here. He taps his heart, then points at you. You nod, reach into your jacket, pull out your own photo. Different faces, same feeling. You both smile. Not because it's funny, but because it's true. That night, the 2 units eat together. Not a feast, but something close to peace. Stories are told, laughter shared, accents tangled. Someone tries to sing. It's terrible, but nobody stops them. You lie on your back later, looking at stars. Martin passes you a cigarette. You don't smoke, but you take it, because sometimes the gesture matters more than the habit. Before sleep, Leon tells you something in English. He says, We're not that different. You nod. I know. Then you both sleep. The next morning, the joint squad breaks into two. You'll stay with Martin and Jules a little longer. Keep eyes on the road. Gather more details. Before parting, Leon pats Carter on the shoulder. You are a good American, he says, laughing. Carter laughs too. You're not so bad yourself. You walk into the woods again. This time, there's less weight, less tension. Just three soldiers, from different countries, on the same path. You don't share a language, but you share the silence. You share the mission. You share the knowing glances when the wind picks up and the birds suddenly stop singing. You trust them, and somehow that's enough. To be continued. The morning starts quietly. You, Martin, and Jules move through the hills like shadows. No gunfire, no distant trucks, just wind. The kind of day that would feel peaceful, if not for the rifles on your backs. You're supposed to circle back by midday, make contact, report findings. But by noon you're still deep in the woods, and the radio's gone quiet. Too quiet. You check the batteries, tap the side. Nothing. Martin tries his set. Same result. Just static. You glance up. No planes, no towers, only pine and fog. You look at Jules. He shrugs. No one's panicking. Not yet. Lost? Carter once said, is only scary when you stop walking. You're still walking. Martin pulls out a map, points to a ridge, a river beyond it. He draws a circle in the dirt. A new plan. You nod. Jules nods. 3 men, 3 rifles, 1 direction. The climb is steep. The fog thickens. At one point you slip on wet rock. Martin grabs your arm, steadies you. You mutter, merci. He grins. De rien. You keep moving. Hours pass. The sun doesn't break through. Time stretches long and thin. You start to feel it. That itch behind the ribs. That quiet voice. What if we're wrong? But you don't say it. None of you do. Instead, you eat. Dried fruit from Jules. Some old crackers from your pack. Still tastes like war, but it's enough. That afternoon, the woods shift. The trees grow denser. The ground flattens. You see signs, boot prints, tire tracks. Old, but real. Jules stops, points to the tree line. Smoke, faint, white, curling slowly like a question. You lower your rifle. Martin raises his binoculars. A shack, just one. Small. Roof patched with tin. No flag, no guards, but a radio tower beside it, barely standing. You approach carefully, weapons ready. The door is open. Inside, dust, crates, a table with a radio set. Martin tries the switch. Still nothing. Jules kicks a loose wire. You tap the dial. Then, a hum. Then a voice. Crackling. Faint, but real. Check in. Outpost 17. Is anyone? You exhale. Martin smiles. Relieved. You respond. It's messy. Static. But they hear you. They know where you are. And now, you're not lost anymore. You rest inside the shack. There's no fire, but the walls hold in warmth. Jules finds a tin of old coffee. You heat it on a small camp stove. It's bitter, but it tastes like home. Martin says something in French. You don't understand. But he taps his chest. Then yours. Then Jules. Then the table. Then the tower. You get it. We made this work. Together. You smile. Then raise your cup. À nous. They raise theirs. À nous. That night, you lie on the wooden floor. Your back aches. But your heart is light. You've been in firefights. You've buried friends. You've heard things in the dark you'll never repeat. But today you were simply lost. Together. And you found your way back. The next morning, a truck arrives. 2 American soldiers. One waving, the other holding extra rations. Martin shakes your hand. Jules hugs you. Quick, strong. No words. Just respect. You climb into the truck. Look back once. The shack already fading into the trees. Somewhere behind you, 2 men in different uniforms walk side by side, and neither of them is lost. Not anymore. To be continued. You return to base on a cloudy morning. The truck bumps over loose stone and ruts in the road. Mud splashes the side. Dust rises behind you like a fading memory. The gate opens. A guard waves. Another nods. Home. For now. Carter's already there. He sits on a wooden crate near the tents, peeling something that might be an orange. He sees you, grins, stands. You look like hell. You smile. Smells like it too. You shake hands, slap shoulders, say nothing more. You don't need to. Inside your tent, your gear waits, helmet, bedroll, a half-read letter, dust on everything. It feels strange to be back. The cot creaks when you sit. You stare at the canvas ceiling for a long time. There's no mission today, no movement orders, no perimeter check, just time. You're not sure what to do with it. You wander the camp, check your boots, clean your rifle, sharpen your knife, even though it doesn't need it. Anything to keep your hands busy. But your mind doesn't listen. You think about Martin and Jules, where they are now, what new path they're walking. You think about the outposts, the ones that never answered, the ones that whispered back with silence. You stop at the medic tent, not because you're hurt, but because it's quiet there. Inside, the doc is patching a soldier's arm. Carter sits on a bench nearby, sipping tea. He scoots over. You sit. Just checking in? He asks. You nod. Nothing to check. He looks down at his cup. I've been dreaming weird, he says quietly. You look at him. Loud dreams? He shakes his head. No, that's the weird part. They're quiet. Too quiet. Like my brain's trying not to wake me up. You don't know what to say to that, so you say the truth. Me too. That afternoon, you help unload a supply truck. Canned meat, bandages, new socks. You carry, lift, sort. Let the repetition take over. Each box is just heavy enough to keep you from thinking too much. One crate tips, spills contents onto the dirt. You kneel to clean it up. A handwritten note slips out from under a bandage roll. You read it. It says, "We're proud of you. Keep going." You fold it. Put it in your pocket. It's not for you. But maybe you need it more than whoever it was written for. That evening, the mess tent smells like something warm. You sit with Carter. He doesn't eat much. Neither do you. But the warmth helps. You sip tea. Let it coat your throat. Hold it in your hands like a fire you can carry. Around you, laughter rises. Someone tells a joke. Someone sings badly. You don't join in. But you don't leave either. Sometimes healing just means being nearby when something human happens. That night, before sleep, you take out your letters. Not to read, just to hold. There are 7 now. Some opened. Some still sealed. You don't remember writing all of them. But they're yours. Your trail of breadcrumbs through the forest. Your proof that you're still someone worth writing to. You lie down. Close your eyes. Rain taps gently on the tent roof. You listen. Let it carry you. Somewhere between rest and memory. Somewhere you can breathe. And when you drift off, you don't dream of war. You dream of walking. A long road. No enemies. Just trees. And a light in the distance. Maybe it's a house. Maybe it's morning. Either way, you keep moving. Because that's who you are now. A soldier. A survivor. And still, somehow, a human being. To be continued. You're assigned to escort duty. No rifles raised, no shouting. Just a quiet transfer. 2 prisoners. Captured the night before. You didn't see the fight. Just heard the reports. A small skirmish. Quick. 1 wounded. 2 surrendered. The sergeant says it's a routine task. Bring them to HQ, that's all. Nothing fancy. You nod. You and Carter always nod now. The prisoners are young. 1 barely older than you. The other even younger. German uniforms. Dirty. Frayed. Their hands are bound. But they don't resist. They just walk. Quiet. Staring at the ground. You fall into step behind them. Carter walks ahead. Another soldier, Alan, takes the rear. The road is narrow. The air cool. Pine trees lean in from both sides, like they're listening. For the first hour, no one speaks. Just footsteps on gravel. Occasional cough. A bird overhead. Then one of the prisoners stumbles. The younger one. Carter turns. You okay? The boy doesn't answer. Just stands slowly. Eyes wary. Breath shaky. You offer him your canteen. He hesitates. Then takes it. Drinks deeply. Spills a little. He hands it back with trembling fingers. You nod. Later, you stop by a stream. The prisoners sit on a rock. You give them food, rations, split evenly. Alan grumbles. Why waste meat on them? Carter shoots him a look. They're not dogs. Alan doesn't answer, just walks off to smoke. You sit nearby. The young prisoner watches you. He has green eyes, freckles. His boots are too big. He doesn't look like a soldier. He looks like someone who used to ride bikes and throw rocks in rivers. Like someone who didn't choose this. He says something in German. Quiet, uncertain. You shake your head. Don't understand. He tries again, points to the bread, then to the trees, then to you. A pause. Then he taps his chest. Johann. You blink, then nod. Tap your own. William. He smiles just slightly, then goes back to eating. Later, as you walk, the older prisoner begins to hum. Soft. A tune you don't know. Carter notices. What's that song? The man shrugs. His voice is low. Old one. My mother. Carter nods. Sounds nice. The man smiles. But it's not a happy smile. Just one full of things you'll never know. By late afternoon, the weather shifts. The wind picks up. The road grows muddy. You march slower. Your boots sink deeper. No one complains. Not even Alan. Just before dusk, you see a figure in the distance. Checkpoint. 2 guards. A tent. A flag fluttering. Almost there. You stop for a moment. Let the prisoners rest. They sit quietly. Johann glances up. He looks tired. Not from walking. From everything else. You realize something. He's afraid. Not of you, but of what comes next. You remember something the sergeant once said. Prisoners are still soldiers, but soldiers are still people. And sometimes, people are just kids wearing the wrong color. You don't say anything, but you take out your last ration bar, break it in half. Offer 1 piece to Johann, 1 to the other man. They take it, eat slowly, say nothing, but their eyes say everything. At the checkpoint, you hand over the paperwork. The guards take the prisoners, search them, tag them, lead them into the tent. Johann looks back once, not scared, not begging, just wondering. Maybe if you were the last face he'll see before the next chapter, whatever that is. The guards say nothing to you, just nod. Good job, one of them mutters. You and Carter turn around, start walking back. The sky is purple now, the sun gone. The road feels longer in the dark, but lighter too, like you left something behind, but also carried something forward. Halfway back, Carter says, "You think they'll be okay?" You think for a while, then answer honestly, "I don't know." You walk in silence after that, but not the heavy kind. Kind that lets things settle, that lets you keep moving. That night you lie in your cot and think of Johann, the 2 big boots, the quiet voice, the half smile. You don't know what side of history he's on, but tonight he was just a boy walking down a road with someone who didn't shoot him. And maybe, in this war, that's mercy. To be continued. It starts with smoke, not from battle, not from the kitchen, just a dark column rising over the hills, steady, slow, too far to smell, too close to ignore. The sergeant gathers the squad. We're investigating. Small village, unconfirmed Axis movement. You grab your gear, check your weapon, fall in line. Like always, but something feels off. The walk is long, the terrain unfamiliar, quiet. Too quiet. Carter walks beside you. He's not smiling today. Neither are you. 2 hours in, the trees thin. A slope opens. And there it is. The village. Small. Stone houses. Red roofs. Still smoking. But no gunfire. No shouting. No movement. You approach slowly. Weapons raised. Eyes scanning. But it's already over. Whatever happened here, it's done. You find burned carts, collapsed doors, a well choked with ash, and people, not soldiers, civilians. You step into a courtyard. There are bodies, old men, women, children, lying as if they fell mid-run, some still holding hands. Your breath catches. Carter stops behind you. Jesus. The sergeant swears under his breath, then turns to the squad. Spread out. Secure the area. But his voice isn't steady. Even he didn't expect this. You move slowly, carefully. No enemies here. Just shadows. Inside one of the houses, you find signs of resistance. A rifle under a table. A box of ammunition. A flag. Red, white, blue, tucked into a drawer. Someone here fought back, but it wasn't enough. Later, a lieutenant from another unit arrives. Clean boots, sharp uniform. He looks around once, eyes hard, then says, "This was a partisan village. Collaborators. Orders were followed." You stare at him. Carter does too. The lieutenant doesn't blink. He turns to the sergeant. "You've seen what you needed. Report back. We move east tomorrow." Then he leaves. Just like that. The squad stands in silence. No one moves. No one breathes. That night, back at camp, no one speaks much. Some drink. Some write letters. Some just stare at the fire. Carter sits beside you. "You believe him?" he asks. You shake your head. "Doesn't matter if I do." But it does. You both know it does. Later, you walk alone. Back toward the trucks. Back toward the edge of camp. You need air, or distance, or something. Then you see her. A girl. 12, maybe. Standing near the trees. Alone. Covered in dust. Eyes hollow. You step closer. She doesn't run. She just watches. Then she lifts her arm, points back toward the village, then down at her feet. You follow her gaze, a scrap of cloth, torn, soaked. Not red like a partisan flag. White, with a blue flower. Just a dress. Just a child. You kneel. Say nothing. Then stand. Walk back into camp. Heart louder than your boots. You don't sleep that night. Instead, you write. Not a letter. Not a report. Just words. Simple. Raw. "We found something terrible, and we were told to forget it. But I won't. I can't. Someone has to remember." You fold the paper, hide it in the lining of your jacket. Maybe no one will read it, but it will be there. And sometimes, just keeping the truth alive is the only kind of resistance you have left. To be continued.
You're woken up before dawn. No bugle, no shouting, just a voice, low and grim. Get up. It's time. Outside, the air is thick. Fog clings to your jacket. The trees are still. You eat standing up. Stale bread. Half a cup of something warm. No taste. No one's talking. Everyone knows what's coming. The sergeant briefs you quickly. A ridge. Fortified position. Enemy has the high ground. "We take it before nightfall," he says. "Or we don't take it at all." You glance at Carter. He doesn't look back. He's already checking his ammo. You do the same. The march is quiet. You follow the trail northeast, weaving through thick forest, mud sucking at your boots. The sun never breaks through. It feels like the trees are holding their breath. So do you. By mid-morning, the gunfire starts. Not near, not close, but steady. Like thunder behind the hills, you tighten your grip on the rifle. You've been in firefights. You've been shot at. But this time feels different. This time, you're walking into it. You reach the base of the ridge just before noon. The sergeant raises a hand. The squad drops low. Ahead, you see movement. Sandbags. Machine gun nests. No time to think. The order comes. Flank left. Move up fast, no stopping. You run. You keep low. Mud splashes your face. Bullets cut the air. Trees explode into splinters. You dive behind a fallen log. Carter slides in beside you. "You good?" he shouts. You nod. He grins. "Not for long." You fire upward, short bursts. You see one figure drop, then another takes his place. The ridge is relentless. Every inch gained costs everything. Alan goes down first. A bullet to the neck. No sound, just blood. You drag him behind cover, but you already know. You don't cry, you don't pause. You just keep moving. Then it's Carter. He takes a hit to the leg, falls hard. You're there in seconds. He growls, "Don't stop." But you do. You pull him behind a tree, tear open your kit. He's pale, but breathing. "Tell me something funny," he mutters. You try. Your voice cracks. So he laughs for you. The sergeant yells from up the hill, "Push now!" You look at Carter. He nods. "Go." You don't want to, but you do. The climb is chaos. Dirt in your teeth, smoke in your eyes, fire in every direction. You reach the top, clear one nest, then another. Your rifle's empty. You reload without thinking. You're not a person now. You're movement, muscle, instinct. When it's over, the world goes quiet. Too quiet. You stand at the top of the ridge, chest heaving. Below you, smoke, flames, bodies. Around you, nothing. Then someone coughs. Then someone laughs. You're still alive. You drop to your knees, not out of exhaustion, out of disbelief. Hours later, reinforcements arrive. Medics rush past. They find Carter. He's alive, pale, sweating, but grinning. You missed the good part, he says. You sit beside him. Let the dust settle. Let the silence return. That night, you don't sleep. No one does. Some clean their weapons, some wrap wounds, some just stare into nothing. You write, not much, just names, Allen, Ortega, Jones. Then you add one more, me. Because part of you stayed on that ridge, and you're not sure who you'll be without it. Carter lies in his cot. He turns to you. Do you think we're making a difference? You think for a long time. Then say, I think we're making it through. He nods. That's enough for tonight. To be continued. The war doesn't end with a bang. No grand announcement, no trumpet sound. Just a slow, spreading silence. And one morning, a piece of paper taped to the mess hall door. Armistice signed. That's it. Some cheer, some cry, some just keep eating. You sit on a bench with Carter. He reads it twice, then folds it like it might tear if handled too fast. Well, he says, I guess that's that. But you both know, that's never really it. There are still patrols, still crates to load, still wounds to clean. But there are no more missions, no more maps drawn in dirt, no more names whispered before dawn like prayers, just waiting, to leave, to go home, to remember how. A week later, the trucks arrive, canvas covered, engine humming like a lullaby. You climb aboard with your pack, your rifle, your letters. Carter sits beside you, leg in a brace, same crooked grin. You think they'll let me keep the helmet? He jokes. You smile. Only if you promise not to wear it to church. The ride is long. Dusty roads, small villages, faces peeking through windows. Some wave, some don't. You don't blame them. You don't even know what to feel yourself. At the port, the ship waits. Big, gray, unmoving, like it's been here the whole time, just waiting for the war to be over. You board slowly, find your bunk, stow your gear. You sit on the edge of the metal frame. Look at your hands. Same hands, but not the same. The sea is endless again. The sky, wide. The gulls circle above like they've never heard a gunshot in their lives. You spend hours staring at water, thinking about things you never said and things you never want to. One night, Carter joins you on deck. He doesn't say anything at first, just leans on the rail, looks at the stars. Then he says, "I don't know what I'll tell them." You nod, because you've been asking yourself the same question. What do you tell people who weren't there? That you saw men become heroes and heroes become broken. That you killed and it didn't feel like victory. That silence is louder now than any battlefield ever was. You tell them, you say, that you came home. And that's enough. Carter doesn't answer, but he stays beside you until the sky starts to lighten. When the ship docks, you step onto land like a stranger. People cheer, bands play, someone hands you a flower. You thank them, but you don't know what to do with it. Home is still where it was. Same street, same mailbox, same front door. You stand outside it for a full minute before turning the handle. Inside, warmth, familiar smells. A photograph on the wall you'd forgotten was even taken. They hug you. They ask questions. They feed you until you can't eat. But no one asks the one thing you're prepared to answer. What did it feel like? Maybe they're afraid. Maybe you are too. At night, your room is quiet. Too quiet. You sleep. But not all the way. Sometimes you hear footsteps. Sometimes you hear your name. Once, you wake up reaching for your rifle, but it's not there, and it shouldn't be. You find a box in your bag. Inside, the ration bar the girl gave you, the letter you wrote and never sent, a small photo of Carter, laughing. You hold them all for a while, then put them in the drawer beside your bed. Weeks pass. The world moves on. People laugh again. Shops reopen. But some part of you walks slower now, listens more, sits longer in silence. You don't talk much about the war, but you write. Little things, names, places, the sound boots make on gravel. You don't write for them. You write for you, to remember, to hold something in place, so it doesn't fade. One morning, a letter arrives. No return address. Inside, still walking, still here. See. You smile, fold it carefully, place it in the same drawer, next to everything else you couldn't leave behind, and maybe someday, when the world is quieter, you'll tell someone the whole story, not just where you were, but who you became, not just what you survived, but what you carried, because war changes everything, except the part of you that keeps walking forward, and that part you kept alive.